Have you guys been wondering why, like, you guys been studying language for such a long time and you don't see a lot of progress? So in this video, I want to go over some things that I thought over the time I've been studying the languages, and I wanted to share that with you. So if you're interested, stick around. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Takeshi. If you're new to the channel, on this channel we talk about a foreign language and how I can help you guys learn it faster and better. So, as I said on the intro, everybody goes through all these stages of their language learning. So, let's say you've been studying English or Japanese or any language for X amount of time, and you just don't see a lot of progress. And I think here there's a few things it comes to my mind usually slows down the learning process of a new language. So I think the first and foremost one, I think the consistency. So it's not so much like, oh, I've been studying for 1 year, I should be here, or I've been studying 5 years, that I should be fluent and almost like should be able to speak like a native speaker. So the problem is that it's not so much how long you have been studying. I think the issue is like how consistently have you been studying. So like you can say 1 year, but if you only study once a month, I mean that's not gonna really give you that much time. But if you've been studying like 1 hour a day for 300 days out of a year, then you're gonna make further progress. So I think just like anything else in life, whether it's exercising or eating well or studying anything else, or maybe your work, I think it's crucial that you study and practice and speak consistently. So like you're gonna have to practice it like almost every day, every other day. You figure out a schedule that fits your schedule. I know we're all busy, but you figure out the schedule that works for you, and then you stick with it in a long run. It's not gonna happen in a week or 2 weeks, but in a long run. So I think that's definitely the first thing that people tend to mistake. That's definitely the first thing I think of. Another thing is I think people tend to overstudy the same thing over and over again. So what does that mean? So like I've met people who actually been studying the same language for a very long time, and they're pretty good, but they haven't really progressed. They haven't made a lot of progress. So one of the reasons is because they think they want to get perfect before they move on to the next chapter, which is great. But sometimes when you pursue perfection, it does take a longer time. So let's say if you're going through a chapter by chapter on this book and you're self-studying, let's say, so you don't really have anybody else to tell you, oh, here on this day you're gonna go, we're gonna study this chapter. So you just you just get stuck in the same chapter for a long time. So my suggestion is like definitely make a progress note saying this is what I studied today, this is how much I know about this, so on. Just write it out so that you know. And if you think you know like majority of it, my tendency, I just move on. If I think I know like 80%, 70% of the, whether it's you're studying about certain adjectives or certain expression or certain grammatical structures, you go and study that. Definitely have to know the basics, fundamentals, and then you study that and you practice with basic sentence structures and all this. Then once you get comfortable, and it's better to move on. Don't stay in that comfort zone. Just you understand some and then move on. You can always come back to it and you can revisit the things you don't know. Because chances, even if you start learning all, some of the things you're gonna forget about it later. You can always come back. I think that's better than get stuck in the same thing and spending a year looking backward on the same chapter. So that's my second thought on the what slows down people's learning process. But last but not least, I think is the being really shy and not be able to use the language in a real life situation. So I mean I was definitely a victim of this when I was studying the first time English, because I only spoke Japanese, and if you guys are familiar with it, in Japan there's not many foreign people live in the country, and I was from small towns, so it's like there wasn't a lot of foreigners to use the foreign languages anyway. So like, expand a little bit more on my experience. So I kept studying English in my middle school, but the issue was I could read and everything, but I was never able to speak, and my accent was horrible. And even when I came to US, I came to American high school and I got thrown in there, but I just didn't have the courage to go out and speak with the native speakers. And year went by, 2 years went by. I was definitely getting better at learning vocabs, picking up vocabs, and understanding what people were trying to say. But at the end of the day, I was never able to go out there and speak. So I never really understood how much I was able to speak and how much of what I say people would be able to understand. So I think that's definitely, last but not least, it's definitely like one of the very important things. Whether you know or not, like have confidence in what you know and go out there and use what you know. It could be very little, like just a greeting or just a basic conversation. But I think that's where everything starts. No one knows all these complex sentence structures from the beginning. You don't need to go talk about the politics and very more complicated subject to the foreigners. I mean, that's going to be much more challenging. So I mean, step by step, you go out there, practice what you know, and oftentimes you're going to get a feedback, and that might not be the positive one, but if you can learn something, that's great. Maybe they'll give you, here's a different way to say things. Here's a different vocab that you can use. I find it a lot of people, when they ask them about a question about their native language, they're pretty passionate about it, and they'll tell you different things about it, things you didn't know about it, and maybe they can correct you. Instead of saying this, it should say like this. The proper pronunciation is like this. So at that point, it's like not to get defensive. I mean, it's not your language, so it's like you're still learning. You're still a student, and see them as your teacher, and just listen to their advice and take it and see what you can learn out of it. And I think over the time, I've definitely learned a lot from that strategy. So I think those are a few things that I think, looking backward in my personal experience, I think hold people down from making huge progress. So let me know what you guys think, and if there's anything else to add on, don't forget to put it on the comment section. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for joining. Thanks.